So a young Muslim woman called Kaltoum in A Bag of Sweets assists in the family shop on Fridays when her brothers attend prayers at the mosque. And one day she is surprised to see her estranged sister, Khadija, entering the shop. Now, Khadija, it is spelled with an H, left the family 3 years before to marry a Christian man, and she has been calling at the family home daily after the passing away of their parents, hoping for some kind of reconciliation. And the family refuses her entry and ignores her time and time again because how dare she marry a Christian man? And she then decides to change track and meet the elder sister at the shop on Fridays. Now, Kaltoum continues to ignore the advances of her sister, even though she knows that as the eldest, she had the ability to change the mind of her family members. And on a whim, she gives her sister a bag of sweets, but continues to ignore her until Khadija finally does not come back on a Friday. Okay, nice little simple story to understand, nothing too hectic. Just this idea of a whole racial divide, and she's just being ostracized from her family for going against key religious beliefs. So, but about the title. So, the Muslim population regard giving gifts as one of the good manners that maintains and strengthens relationships between the giver and the recipient. And this is why Khadija hopes for some kind of reconciliation and continues to come to the shop after her sister gives her the bag of sweets. So she's hoping for some kind of reconciliation. In terms of themes, I'd say there's two main themes here. It's just the lack of tolerance and that same lack of forgiveness. So the theme of intolerance is noted throughout the short story, and the family is unable to forgive Khadija for leaving them to marry into a Christian family. It is ironic, however, that Kaltoum mentions her own Christian friends, but shows no tolerance and acceptance of her sister's choice in life. Now, regarding forgiveness, the family blames Khadija for the death of their parents, and despite being practicing Muslims, they cannot find it in their hearts to forgive her. On the other hand, it does appear as if Khadija has forgiven her family for shunning her for all these years. That is the focus there on forgiveness. In terms of the setting, the story is just simply set in the family shop of a Muslim family and in their house. So it's just in their family shop. And there's no clear indication of the location of the shop. In terms of the structure and plot development, so Kaltoum gives Khadija a bag of sweets, relatively cheap sweets. And Khadija might take it as a sign of some kind of reconciliation, but Kaltoum's intentions are not reconciliation, as she continues to ignore her sister. And our resolution here, Khadija finally stops coming to the family shop, and it seems that Kaltoum regrets her harsh treatment of her sister. Kaltoum waits for her sister, even past the shop's closing time, which shows that she hopes for some kind of reconciliation, for Khadija to visit again. In terms of characterization here, our narrator is Kaltoum. So she's the head of the family after the parents' death, and she's cold-hearted, to be honest, and she's holding this very hectic grudge. Khadija, she's principled. She married a Christian man, even though she knows it'll cause a rift between her and her family. And we've also got Abdul. He doesn't play such a big role. He's just the eldest brother. The story is narrated in first person, and the narrator is the main character. So a formal style was used throughout the story, but there are contradictions used in dialogues, and the style is appropriate for a person who deemed herself to be superior to a sister. It also mirrors the age of the woman. In terms of diction and figurative language, so again, use of similes, metaphor, personification, and there's a lot of irony here. Here's why. So a bag of sweets is supposed to be a treat and bring joy to the receiver, but in this story, it is used as a form of insult to the one who receives it. And Khadija is disrespected, and she was actually treated like a child. It's ironical that Kaltoum never speaks to her sister and tells her brothers she wishes that she would come calling at the shop. Yet when Khadija one day does not come, Kaltoum waits for her after closing time. And that being said, the tone is, again, it's quite gloomy because Kaltoum only expresses negative thoughts. And the mood, it's just one of anger and upsettedness. A lot of anger. Very hectic short story here.